Hey friends, Kylie here, your host of Dream On with Kylie Omiller, back for another episode with another longtime friend, absolute stud women's lacrosse goalie, and one of my favorite people. Thank you as always for tuning in. These episodes are recorded from a live Zoom webinar that I hold through the KO17 Lacrosse app and are constructed into this Dream On podcast you have found here. I hope you are gaining some insight from these episodes from some of the people that I have met through my lacrosse journey that have imposed so much of their wisdom on me. We've got another really special guest this week, and I'm pumped to get right into it. Samantha Giacolone is one of my lifelong friends that the sport I have made a living off of brought me to at a time in my life that I didn't know it would have as much of an impact on me as it really truly did. A year younger than me, but very close in age, as she reminds me in this episode, she played up on my Long Island Yellow Jackets 2014 Blue team for 7 or 8 summers alongside me. She was in the opposite crease, playing arguably the toughest position on the field as a goalie, and I was on the other end of the field, trying to do my job against the opposing team's goalie as an attacker. Yet we had an immediate connection both on and off the field. We run through memories off the field during the countless weekends that we spent on the road playing in travel tournaments, as well as all the times we decided to say, hey, let's just go for it. And Sam would launch the ball down the field to me with no heads up other than just a simple look, and I knew exactly when it was coming. We talk her collegiate career at Notre Dame, family over everything, her new food blog, and chasing dreams that we both still have, even as 23 and 24-year-old Yellow Jackets alums. Let's dive right into it with my girl, Sammy Jax. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Dream On Live. I'm always excited for these, but I'm especially excited tonight because I have one of my very best friends here from when was the start date? I don't even know, 20 in the early O's, 20 00s, which is crazy. But we've known each other for a really long time, played together, played against each other. And we're finally getting a chance to play together again in December at Team USA tryouts, and we could not be more excited. So thank you all for being here, for hanging out with us this Wednesday night, and for listening on the podcast. And I'm really excited to have none other than Samantha Giacolone here to hang out with me. Sam, thanks for being here.
No problem. I'm excited.
Awesome. All right. So for those of you who don't know who my friend Sam here is, we played together on the Long Island Yellow Jackets 2014 Blue. Hoorah. Fun fact about Sam, she's actually a 2015 graduate, but she's so good that she played up a year with our squad for how many years?
As long as I can remember.
Like 8, right? Like a long time. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, it paid off because Sam ended up going to Notre Dame, played lacrosse there for 4 years. She was on the U19 Team USA squad, all ACC goalie, all the accolades, all the things. And now she is down in South Carolina as the Furman women's lacrosse assistant coach. So doing all things lacrosse and just making an absolute name for herself as always. But super proud to be her friend. Super proud to know one of the best goalies in the world and have gotten to be stuffed by her every year. But I am really excited to you're actually my first goalie on the podcast here, Sam. So
Honored.
I love it. But before we get into all of that, all the details, all the crazy throwback pictures that we put on our social media today, just absolutely embarrassing ourselves. We always like to start a Dream On episode with off to a good start. So before we dive into a lot of the different kind of like lacrosse questions and the questions we just get all the time, I'd like to know, how you're doing. So something that you are thankful for today, what would that be?
I mean, I'm thankful for good health. I got a physical today. I feel good. I got everything checked out great. And just having a body that can still, get in the goal and do what it needs to do every day. I didn't think I'd make it here with this body, but here I am. So I'm very thankful for that.
Especially in this climate, right? Yes. So I'm grateful you can still do what you can do too, because I can't wait for the world to see that. Secondly, something that you are proud to say that you've accomplished today, other than your physical.
Oh, my physical, that was a big accomplishment. I was patient with a 5 and 6 year old today pumpkin carving, and I think that is a massive accomplishment. Because I love them to death. My boss's kids are amazing, but they are a handful. And both of us were like, all right, we're going to get through this in an hour and a half, and these pumpkins are going to be great. And they came out awesome. So I think that was an accomplishment in itself.
What were the designs?
We did a cat, Frankenstein, and then I did a Happy Halloween, which took me really long.
Wow.
But we did it. They came out great. I mean, as best as they could.
Wow, good for you. I mean, I just physically can't do it. I don't know how. None of my artistic ability shows with pumpkin carving, so good for you. Halloween, like Happy Halloween, has a lot of letters in it too.
Yeah, you figuring out how to do like stuff with like a hole in it is I almost messed up on the first one and I caught myself, and thank God I did. It would have looked really bad.
With the A and the O, right? And you have to keep the one piece in there. What'd you do? A toothpick?
Like you have to like not cut the whole thing out. So it's like this. Yeah.
So it
I would
stays connected. Oh man. Oh, pumpkins are a whole thing. What are you gonna be for Halloween? This isn't part of the notes here, but what are you being?
you know I was gonna be I'm gonna be a candy corn because it's so easy. I just bought yellow leggings, a big orange classic, a big orange t-shirt, and then a white sweatshirt. And then I'm wearing your KO beanie, actually.
Let's go.
And I'm just, that's what it is. It's so easy. I can walk around with the kids, go with trick-or-treating at them. So
Wow. That's a really good one. Do you like okay, so hard hitting question here. Do you like candy corns? Because I know they're like hit or miss.
like I never really ate them. We never really had them in my house though. It wasn't like the go-to thing for us.
Yeah,
So
I would rather just regular candy, right? Rather than just candy corn.
absolutely.
Awesome. All right, last but not least here. So something that you are really pumped to go out and chase could be tomorrow, could be the rest of this week, the rest of this year, anything, something you're really pumped to go get after.
Um, I don't know. I think for me, I just I'm excited to like stay in shape. I think in college it's very up and down because you're not really in control of what you're doing. And now being out of college, you have more control of just like your workout patterns and what you're eating and what you're doing every day and to make yourself feel good. And I think like by the end of this year, like I have a goal of how I want to be healthy, and I'm chasing that goal every day, just making myself get out there and run and do other things. So that's what I'm excited to look forward to.
That's awesome. I mean, something that we talk about a lot with the KO17 lacrosse girls is goal setting, and just kind of like putting it out on paper and putting it out into the universe, right? Makes it so much easier to chase rather than just keep it in your head. So, I love that you have those goals for yourself, and I know that you're gonna crush them because I know who you are and how you are. So, I can't wait to see you absolutely just go into 2021 with even bigger goals for yourself. So I mean, let's backtrack a little bit. We showed a little bit of our social media following, who we were growing up today. Just kind of promoting this little chat tonight, but we have known each other for a really long time. We both grew up on Long Island. We played Yellow Jackets together, as mentioned before. And we also got to play against each other in basketball, our high school teams as well, for pretty much all the years, right? So we know a lot about each other. We got to do a lot growing up together. So like, how did you get involved in these sports, right? How did you get introduced to the sports world, playing basketball, to playing lacrosse, all the things? Tell our listeners here, because I know your background.
Well, my parents are both superb athletes in their own ways. My dad played soccer at Hofstra, and my mom was actually the better athlete. Sorry, Dad. Of the two, she was an All-American softball player at University of Chapel Hill, in North Carolina, and they just, always promoted my family to do whatever we wanted, and obviously sports just kind of came natural. My dad coached softball, soccer, men's soccer, and women's basketball. And so I was always around that. So, you always start off playing soccer when you're little, especially on Long Island, all of the little league stuff with soccer. And then I picked up softball, and basketball is still my favorite sport to this day. And, I still would love to go back to college and do that all over again. But, my parents really just, supporting me and kind of letting me find my own path. I had to make that hard choice between softball and lacrosse when I joined Yellow Jackets, actually, because my dad was like, I am not paying for all that goalie equipment if you're going to go back and play softball. And I had to tell my mom, sorry, but I'm going to go the lacrosse route. And you know what? She was like, I probably would have done that too if it was around. Just a fun, cool sport that I really enjoy, and I still enjoy it today.
That's awesome. I didn't know that Teresa, your mom, said that about lacrosse. She would have done it too if it was around.
You should see her throw. You could give her some lessons.
Oh, I would love to throw around with Teresa. I mean,
little lefty action, you two.
Oh, beautiful. We love a good little lefty toss. So you mentioned, right, you started Yellow Jackets at a young age, left softball, play lacrosse. What are some of your youngest memories from, joining that squad, and how did that happen for you? I remember because I remember my version of it, and it's very faded because my brain is getting old, but I remember, for instance, it was a Long Island tournament that we were at, right? Mm-hmm. It was, okay. And you were wearing, don't worry, you were wearing Tar Heel blue. I remember that as well, of course. And just this new goalie showed up for our team to come pop in the goal, and it was you, of course. And we were just like, whatever, that just kind of happens all the time. If you need a goalie, people pop in. But I was like, wow, you started playing. I was like, wow, this girl's really good. I wonder if she's going to stick around. You were just flying around the crease and everything. And then when I actually remember going over to the sideline and being like, who is this girl? Where is she from? And they're like, yeah, she's a year younger than us. She's younger. And we were just so shocked at how incredible you were from the get-go. So that's my version of it. What was your version of it?
It was at, the Long Island showcase that used to be around way back when. I don't do it as much anymore because everything's so much high level now. But Long Island showcase was huge. I was popped around in a bunch of teams, but I was kind of in soccer where they have a travel player or guest player. And it was kind of my mini tryout to be on Yellow Jackets. And I remember I came and played with you guys, and we actually played against the team above us at the time, which was Courtney Fortunato and all those girls. And I just remember being like, oh God, this could be so bad and I could embarrass myself. And I don't know, I just was very not taught at that time. I was really, really, really raw. I just remember I was trying to use my chest protector with everything I could do and get my body behind it. But I was looking at pictures today when I found those ones of us, and just my shin guards were so chunky, and I had the neck strap that hung off and it wasn't connected. I'm like, oh my God, at least I wasn't wearing elbow guards or something like that. My mom didn't make me look ridiculous. I'm sure my hair looked good though. So always, because Teresa would never let me play without my hair looking good. Nope. Yeah, I remember it I remember being on that field, and it was so funny.
It's funny to think back to that. Like you said, you mentioned something very quickly there, which is kind of funny to think about, because it was just a Long Island showcase that we did every year. And to us, like, it was one of the biggest tournaments, right? Because we were at home, we didn't have to travel, and it was just super exciting. Like, we played it like any other showcase or any other championship tournament. And now these kids are playing like championship style games like 3 times a week, even in the off season. And for us, like that Long Island showcase, we were playing another Yellow Jackets team, just the grade above us. And it was like our national championship, right? Like, it was just like, it's cool to think back and see where the sport is now and where it was back then. But I would love to go back and play that exact game again, like right now. Wouldn't that be fun?
Hopefully, it'd be interesting to see how it turned out now.
I know, right? Very interesting. Just thinking about all the girls on both squads. I mean, we had an incredibly talented Yellow Jackets team. We were really lucky to play with those girls and play for those coaches. And um, like, I'm just thinking back on rosters and names and things, and just where everybody went, to these big D1 schools, and had awesome college careers, like including yourself. And like before that, we were just kind of every summer. I remember like being in hotel rooms with your mom, like you said, doing our hair, putting them in bows before games, and just getting out there. And like, what are some of those random memories that you have from our Yellow Jackets days?
Well, obviously, me sliding through the mud, I'll never forget Ocean City. Um, I my dad
Wait, you can't. So tell the story.
we're at Ocean City, and this was like the best tournament ever. Like at that time, like that was the one we were looking forward to every year. And Coach Thorne, Rebecca Thorne, just joined as our coach, who I'm really good. We both have a really good relationship with now. People think she's my relative. She's not, but we're very close. And I said, if we win, you have to, or something where I couldn't let in a certain amount of goals or something. And I made a bet with her. And I said, all right, if I don't let in this many goals, like, then you have to slide through this mud. It poured the night before. And she was like, all right, deal. And if you do, you have to slide in it. And I ended up winning the bet, but I still slid through the mud because I was like, why not? Like, I don't, what do I have to lose? Well, getting in a car afterwards for 5 hours, I just remember my dad pulled up to the hotel. He said, get out of the car, jump in the pool with all of my gear on. And then I jumped back in the car and we drove home. And I was like, yeah, I'm never doing that again. I'm going to be in so much trouble. That was my first memory with Becky as our coach at Ocean City. And obviously we went go-karting with our dads, and I had Becca and Dakota out the window, like screaming. And granted, this was during senior week for Maryland kids. So there was a lot of, we were younger, and there was a lot of like 18, 19-year-old kids around, like going out to the beach and stuff. And there were like the 14-year-old kids, like singing out the car, doing car karaoke, going go-karting, and just having a blast. And probably they wanted to be with us instead of what they were doing.
I wouldn't blame them if they hopped out and joined us, honestly. We literally, like, we had such a blast. I think back on those weekends, and like, I don't know how we had the energy to play games. And we played like 4 full games a day. And we, like, in between every game at night, like the night before, the day of, like, we're jumping in the pool for hours on it. Like, our parents were trying to wrangle us and be like, hey, you should probably drink some water, should probably rest, like, stop that. And we just couldn't. Like, I remember that same Ocean City hotel, the one that was right by the field that we would stay at with the pool. We would be out there with Alexandra and Gianna and Taryn, and Those are our sisters for everybody listening. And we would just like be jumping in the pool in different ways for maybe 3 hours straight.
And you can never not find my sisters. They're always in the brightest colors, bows everywhere. And Taryn was always with them, and they would all hang out, and all the other younger siblings would hang out. But it was just so fun. Like, we had such a good group of people, and our dads like are in love with each other, so that always helps. Another really good memory is we were older, but we were meeting our dads for dinner, and they're at Friendly's, and they're sitting in the same side, in the booth on the same side. And we walked in and we were like, why are you sitting on the same side, like, of the table? Why aren't you sitting? And they were like, oh, we're just here to grab a bite. And we're like, I know, we're coming to meet you, but like, why did you sit on the same side? And it was just so funny. But they had a great time together, and our moms obviously still talk every day practically.
I know. So we started posting those pictures today, and you said that you reached out to your mom for more pictures, and then I hadn't even talked to my mom today, but all of a sudden she's sending me random pictures that I knew came from Teresa to her, of just the two of us, like braces, just not looking cute at all, and in all the best stages of our growing up. But it really has been such a family affair for us, and it's so funny. I remember that booth story. I'll remember that till the day I die. It's so funny. I can't wait to get them on the same side of the booth again sometime soon. So another part that, you talk about your dad a lot, and I know he's a big role model for you and a big influence in your life. He was also, heavily involved in your sports career in high school, right? He was your basketball coach, which, I played basketball too, not very well, but I played, and we used to play against each other every year. ESM, Islip, we played each other in every sport. But for some reason, I always remember the basketball games. Don't know why. I remember the lacrosse games, but I think because the basketball games were a little bit more competitive, a little bit more close, and because we physically had to guard each other the entire game.
So funny, actually, just playing, because also you broke your nose, so you had the thing on your face, and just we both were clearly, I think, there to play defense a lot of the time. And yes, Kylie's an attacker, everyone, but she was there to play defense, not really to shoot as much as you think she does in lacrosse. And it was just I don't know, I couldn't even get mad during the games. I just was this is just so fun. And afterwards we'd be all right, let's go get something to eat. I wouldn't get on the bus, or you wouldn't get on the bus, and we would go out and grab food together. But yeah, lacrosse was fine, but it was just different. You're not really I'm in goal, you're on the in the field. So basketball was definitely the funner memories when we played against each other, for sure.
Absolutely. I think it, when we get on the lacrosse field, it meant a little bit more to both of us, because obviously we knew that there was going to be just a future for it for both of us. So when we stepped on the field, it's just how we were. But I love our basketball memories, because there were points in some of those games, and they were very, very close games, that we would just be running around laughing, the two of us, just laughing at the fact that I couldn't get open because you were playing defense on me so hard, and then you couldn't get open, and your dad was yelling at you, and I'm like, oh God, this is just so funny. But I mean, let's talk more about, the sport that everybody knows that we like to play. And that has brought us to this point, and that brought us together in the first place. But you got to play at ESM growing up, and then you eventually got to play at Notre Dame. Can you talk about, was that the place you always wanted to go growing up? How did you find yourself at Notre Dame for 4 years, and what was that journey like for you?
No, I did not want to go to Notre Dame my whole life. I was a Tar Heel through and through. For a really, really long time, I actually hated Notre Dame. I would fight with people at school being like, Notre Dame sucks, Notre Dame sucks. And then I did my process very early in recruiting. I committed as a sophomore. I'm very grateful that it's changed. I was an advocate for the rule change. I think it helps players develop more. Like I was fortunate enough, I didn't have many schools to choose from. And when I got to Notre Dame, I knew I wanted to be there. It had that, you know, North Carolina atmosphere of you're kind of on a campus, and it's beautiful. You walk on, it's beautiful. And I think it was just the right fit. I had other opportunities at other schools. And for me, like I wanted to one, get a great education. I'm a big nerd. I love school. And I come from two educators as parents. So I think kudos to them for instilling that in me. But also, I wanted to make an impact on a program. I think a lot of kids think that stepping into a national championship team is going to make you a national champion the next year, but you may not be contributing as much as you'd like from your level of play. So for me, I wanted to go to a school that had the potential to do great things, but I wanted to be a part of the great things that were happening. I didn't want to just be one of them. I wanted to be an impact person. So Notre Dame was the fit for me, and I don't regret my 4 years. I loved every second of it. I'd go back in a heartbeat, but I think my clock is run out there. But yeah, that was kind of, my process to getting there.
That's awesome. I know we all say our clock is run out and we wish we could go back in an instant, right? It goes by so fast. I try to tell people that, but nobody ever believes you until you get there. But if there was, I think you said some really important key things there just about the recruiting process in general, whether you're going for lacrosse or whether you're just trying to find a school or a place or a home for the next 4 years. Like a lot of young kids listening to this, like finding the right fit was your biggest thing, right? Like what you wanted to do and what you wanted to accomplish, your goals for yourself, might not have matched up to like another place that just sounded really cool, or really you really would just wanted to be there. So I think that's really like incredibly mature of you, and I think it's something that a lot of young players and young athletes should definitely listen to. And I think one thing, like, what do you think during that process? It's super stressful, but if there was anything you could go back and do differently or better or wish you would have known during that time period, maybe a little bit of a piece of advice from future Sam, what would that be?
It's a hard question. It's a good question.
I know it wasn't on the notes.
Sorry. I think that if they really want you, they'll wait for you. So that's my advice. Now, I'm in the coaching world. If they really want you and believe in what you're bringing to the table and believe that you could be a part of this team in a certain way, they're not going to push you to make a decision before you're ready, because they want you to want them as badly. And I think I had experiences where I was pushed and I wasn't ready, and I knew that it wasn't the right fit because they weren't willing to wait for me. So I'm just a piece of their puzzle. I'm not someone who's going to help bring them to a new level in a way. So again, for anyone who's listening that is going through this process, they will wait for you and you will know that it's the right fit because you'll feel it. So don't stress over that you're going to be left behind. I think there's always a place, and you might get there and you might be like, okay, this is it. And you can always transfer. But I think again, when you take your time and you feel it out, you find the right one, usually on the first try.
Patience is a virtue. Awesome advice. I threw you under the bus there, threw you for a loop there, but I appreciate that answer, and I think a lot of our listeners will too. So let's go back to your time at Notre Dame. Gets cold there in the winters. I loved, I mean, I obviously loved, keeping in touch with you the entire time, but I love following all your Snap stories of you walking and how cold it would get day by day. And every time, like every day, it was just a video of you just walking, I guess, to class or practice or whatever it was, but it was just your legs walking. You'd always put like the temperature, and it would just get so much colder there than it was at Stony Brook. So I was always just kind of shocked by that. But you went to a big football school, you went to a big lacrosse school. Like, what were some of your favorite memories? Some of the best things you and your teammates got to do, some of the best, I guess, lessons that you learned from teammates, some of your highs from being at Notre Dame.
I think going to a school that not a lot of Long Islanders go to at the time, it's a little bit different now. I think Notre Dame's built its name on Long Island. It's really embedded itself, but that was huge for me. I think that was a high. I got to learn different personalities, different styles of play. I mean, my best friends now, none of them like my core best friends that aren't in my class. Like, obviously, Jen, Nikki, Sam, I've known forever. And they're always gonna be my best friends because I practically went through this whole process with them. But the other ones, they're not from Long Island. And I think that's huge. North Carolina, upstate New York, Jersey, Colorado, Virginia, Chicago. Like, I think that's, again, like, you're just building new relationships with people, especially in a school like Notre Dame. I mean, football is great. I love football. I love basketball. I mean, I've snuck into a basketball game when I wasn't supposed to because I couldn't get a ticket, but I had to be there. It was UConn versus Notre Dame women's. I had to go. So we had to figure out a way to get there. That was a great memory with some of my teammates. We happened to find the only seats that weren't taken. I don't know how. It was a miracle. That was super fun. I think my major, I wasn't a business major. A lot of my teammates were, and business is just not for me. I was a business minor, and my grades were very different than what my major were. But I made a lot of friends and connections. I think, again, going to a school where there is such a mishmash of people, like, I made so many friends that I didn't think I ever would outside of just sports teams. And I still keep in touch with them, and I really take that with me. Like, I lived with Sarah and my friend Kennedy my senior year, and they weren't athletes. And I thought that was a great dynamic for me, just, having different people to talk to and just different realms of life going on. But yeah, I don't know. I loved it.
I like that what you said at the end there, different realms of life, because once you graduate, it's not just like that bubble of just athletes, right? Like, you're in quote unquote real world and dealing with real people. So that's really cool that you got that experience, because I definitely can't say the same. Mine was completely different. It was just all athletes all the time. Like, my friends and I joke all the time from Stony Brook that, like, we spent maybe 12 hours of the day together, and that's without sleeping in the same house. So it gets like it gets really cool that you get to have those experiences at a school like that. What were some, I guess, like some pieces of advice or some lessons that you learned from your time on the lacrosse field at Notre Dame? Maybe some lows that turn into what you look at as high nows, or highs now, I should say, but maybe some little things that you might have learned that you've taken into who you are now.
I mean, I definitely was hit with a lot of hardships is a bad word to use. A lot of obstacles through my 4 years on the lacrosse field or within the lacrosse world. But I think building that emotional intelligence is really huge, especially now, just in general. with how the world is working, just cultivating that and having a mindset that like it's hard right now, but it always gets better. And I read a book by David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, and over the summer our whole team read it, and you know, I really resonated in a lot of things for me, and kind of just solidified like, oh, I went through a lot of this stuff in college. I mean, I dealt with confidence issues. I dealt with lack of performing, and I like to be the best. So lack of performing was really tough for me. I had to really, you know, dig in and be like, okay, this is how we're going to come back from this. We're going to work on this, or we're going to do this. And I think the advice to give to people now that are in college or going to be in college or even in high school, like might sound bad, but be like the hardo, like get out on the field and do as much as you possibly can, because right now, like, I wish I was doing that. I wish I was like doing that extra work, or like just, you know, really digging in practice, not going through the motions or anything like that, because it is really short. And it just like helps you grow. It helps you get past, like, hit a new PR and whatever it is you do. And I think, you know, dealing with confidence and dealing with performance issues, like, that goes away. You build your confidence by building your brand and what you want out of yourself. And then everything falls in place. So
good for you. You know, I think a lot of people are gonna resonate with that, like you said. But I think it's really great that you can look back on that and say, like, some of your lowest moments have now become something that have pushed you to be who you are now. Push you to this peak and push you to be who you are and set those goals for yourself, like you were mentioning in the beginning. But thank you for sharing that. And I definitely want to take that into, like you said, your position is another one that is heavily like based on performance, as are they all on the field. But as an attacker, I mean, I've always had the utmost respect for people like you who hop in the crease and just put yourself in front of balls. And you have so much pressure on you, right? Whether you know it or not. But so much pressure just being in that position. And I want to know, like, where you got the resilience, the patience, like, how did that form, right? Like, did it come naturally? Did you hop in the cage immediately when you first started? Or, you know, like, what were how did you learn some of those traits that I know you have so well now?
I think, at least, you know, looking back on my career and how I grew as a goalie specifically, I think I was a loudmouth. Being very honest, I was able to connect with my teammates and build trust with them by communicating as much as possible. And I think it helped me get out of my head and be able to be like in the moment playing. When I got quiet, that's when I started getting internal and not being able to perform the best I could. And I think I've always known that. And then in college, like, I was trying to help so much. I wasn't focused on what I was doing. So I had to revamp again, like, okay, like, I need to pick and choose when I want to communicate here, because I also need to, you know, focus on myself and make the save, because no one else is going to make a save. They can make a stop, but I'm the only one there. But there's 7 people who can make a stop on the field versus 1 person who can make a save. So again, I had to revamp my mindset, being like, okay, you are a big communicator, but pick and choose the times you want to, you know, talk a lot versus kind of say very simple things. And then, you know, again, I think being a great goalie and comes with trusting your teammates. You can't do it alone. It's super hard to be out there by yourself and feel alone. So building that chemistry and that synergy with your teammates, I think that fueled me the most. I know in college, like, my friends I had 2 people I'd go to right before the game, and I'd get the first one from one of them, and then I'd get oh no, I love you from the other, and we would hug and we'd do our little handshake before, and I felt that they always had my back. And by my senior year, it was all 5 of us kind of, we were really gelling. So then when I graduated, I was like, darn, I wish I had one more year because we're really gelling. But again, being in my position, like you got to lean on your teammates as much as possible, because you could get very internal. And once you get internal, it's like you're on an island, because it's very different than being on the field or having the ball on your stick. You're in more control than what a goalie is in control of.
For sure. And that goes into my next question. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's something that I talk to my girls about all the time when they're talking about offense, defense. Like, I think the entire field should be chatting and gelling and communicating, right? Like, there's no way that we possibly know, no matter how much you know somebody, how close you are, but with someone, right? If I don't speak to you about what I'm going to do or what I plan on doing or what I want you to do as well, we're not going to gel, right? And we're not going to kind of have that communication, that chemistry on the field. And I think that goes for like everywhere, especially where you're at. So I love that you said that, because obviously that's something that I want to touch on as well in a second about our telepathy. I guess, because we wouldn't communicate all the way down the field, but as an attacker, if the clears weren't going for Sam, nobody was getting open. It was just a quick little head nod from one crease down to the other crease, and I would just like pop the other way, and Sam would do her thing where she throws 100 yards real casual all the way down the field to me, and I would hope that I'm athletic enough to beat out my defender and catch the ball and just go score. So I can't wait to do that again in December. But that's your little telepathy chemistry there. Love that. We need a little bit of that too. But going off of what you were just mentioning, I know like communication is huge, but what do you think are some qualities like internally, personally, that you've learned as a lacrosse player, but more specifically as a goalie?
I think, wow, this is hard. Qualities. I think, being an open person, I think I learned more of that, again, being as a coach now, but being a lacrosse player or a goalie in general, like you're in the goal, you're doing your thing, but the people in front of you may feel different. They may feel that it's off, and you may feel that it's off, but you don't really know. So being open to like input is huge. Definitely not being like, you got to take criticism because you let in goals. So you have to be able to, I think my parents were great athletes, so they were great teachers, and they're hard on me in a good way. And they're real with me. So being able to like take criticism, I think is a great quality to have just in general. But as a goalie, like you're taking the heat when that ball goes in the goal. Sometimes you may be the one that's getting taken out of a game, whether it's your fault or not, just because that's the pinnacle. Like you're there, that's who it is. So taking criticism, being open to listening, to input, and just like having fun. I think like you have to, again, it didn't take me, at first I was a very angry person when I was little, playing bad. I didn't want to talk to anyone after a game. And I think as I got older, like maybe it took me like 20 minutes, like I needed to get in the shower and I needed to, have my time by myself. And then I was like, okay, it is what it is. Like, I'm going to have fun. And the next practice, like I'm still going to be the crazy psychopath loudmouth at practice and hype up my teammates again. But again, just learning to have fun is a good quality to have, especially as a goalie, because it can get hard and you can get hard on yourself. But at the end of the day, like you're playing and doing things you love. So why not just have fun while you're at it?
Couldn't have said it better myself. I'm throwing you right for a loop with all these questions. I promise you are crushing this. So you mentioned quickly in that little part right there that, you know, now that you're a coach, you get to see things just a little bit differently, and on the other side of things. So, you know, did you always know that you wanted to get into coaching? Like, how did that path come about for you post collegiately?
I tried to avoid it. I came up with every scenario I'll go and be a teacher. I'll go and be I try to get into a psych research lab. I did it, interned going into my senior. I'm like, oh, I'll go, you know, go into psychology field. I hated research. I was like, darn, I really thought this was going to be it for me. You know, thought about going into just like academics in any sort of sense. And it just came right back to, you know, this is what I'm going to do. And, you know, I think it's part of my plan. I think it's, you know, it may not be the end goal now, but I'm good at it. I grew up with a coach, coaching me all sports. I grew up with a mom who was the biggest supporter to, you know, the coach's daughter. So I kind of knew that side of things, and kind of how to be, you know, the good cop, bad cop. I think my mom and dad did a good job of, you know, handling that. And I don't know, it is what this is what happened. And I think just rolling with it, you know, nowadays everyone has like 15 jobs in their lifetime, more than that. So, I think right now I'm in the place I should be, and, you know, I'm loving every second of it. So I don't regret my decision to be a coach as much as I tried to avoid it.
Well, I'm really happy that you don't regret it and that you're absolutely loving it. Because I know for sure that you're probably incredible at it. It's just part of your blood. So, what do you think it's like though, being on this side of it, but still playing, right? Like you're still a player yourself. So what are some of the things that you're learning being able to be on the sideline, or, you know, be able to help out one of the girls on your team in one way or another, maybe see something from a player perspective, maybe in your own way, or then again, even just, you know, being able to see something in the other way and be able to take something to your own game as a player from being a coach?
Yeah, I think I've been dabbling with playing a lot now because these tryouts have come up, and, you know, I'm trying to train. And last year, I didn't want to step in the goal. I didn't want to. I was still really torn up that I wasn't playing in college anymore. So I tried to avoid it as much as possible. But now, you know, now I'm like, all right, I want to get back in. Like, I miss it. And from a coaching standpoint, I think I try to, you know, have a very open dialogue with my players. Like, I coach defense, so when I take someone off, I go, what does it feel like in there? Because I'm not in there, so I don't know what the vibe is, what's working, what's not. Like, tell me, because I can see from here, but it might feel so differently. So I think we've really built a good like repertoire with my players in that way. And then when I get in goal, like, I can help them as much. I want to help them a lot. And it's really hard to focus on yourself then, because you're in coach. You have to switch your mindset to be like coach versus player, but not really player. You're still coaching. So I've been struggling with that a little bit. And I'll be honest, like, it's really hard. So once I actually switch the gear to play, I'm a different human. Like, I'm not as like, I'm like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's hard to coach when you're actually locked in and you're playing. So I typically don't like playing in sevens with my players, because I want to watch and I want to help them, and I don't want to get aggravated because I'm playing bad, because I'm trying to help them so much. But I'll get into like a shooting drill because I'm like, I don't have to worry about anyone. All I have to do is worry about myself right now. But again, I think the feeling part, as a coach, you can't feel it anymore. You can't feel what's going on because you're on the sideline. So really, you know, building that trust and that communication with your players is something I really strive to do with them, just because I remember being in college and I felt that something was either not working or something was, and my coach might have thought differently. And things either went really bad or we figured it out. But again, that open line of communication as a coach and as a player, I think has helped a lot.
That's awesome. I love that you said that. I forget who I was having a conversation about with this, but someone in the lacrosse world that was talking about this with, like, you're obviously coaching Division I women's lacrosse players, right? They were talking about this with like younger youth players and talking about how it's frustrating sometimes because they played at a high level as a coach, right? And they're standing on the sideline and these kids just aren't getting it on the field and they're seeing things and they just want to yell, or they just want to kind of explain it to them in this way or this way. They just want to put themselves out on the field so that they can show it to them. And I, pretty much said exactly what you said, right? Like, wouldn't it be interesting if we asked these 12-year-olds or these 10-year-olds, like, when they came off the field, rather than being like, why did you, throw the ball this way or that way, like turnover, whatever, rather than yelling, why don't we say, what are you seeing out there? Like, what are you feeling out there? Like you said, like, it could look completely different to us on the sideline, or to us as somebody who's seen maybe it at a higher level, right? Or maybe in a different scenario that we just like have PTSD from, and it might have turned out differently, right? So like just being able to have that communication and being able to see that or understand that, like, somebody might see it differently, somebody might feel it differently, and we got to be open to that. So I think that's one of the marks of a great coach. So I think you're doing good things over there, even if you weren't planning on doing so after college. But so tell me, what's next for you? I mean, I know what's next for you in the next month, but talk to me about that. How excited are you? Because I know I'm excited.
For US, I mean, we have been talking about it forever. Like, like it's crazy. I remember when I made U19 and you missed it. You missed,
cool.
Which is weird because you're not that old. You're
I'm very, very young.
really young, because we're almost the same age. But
Okay.
that happened, and then the women's team tryouts started coming out, and you got asked, and I was like, I'm not ready to go back into that yet. And I was like, we'll get there. Like, we'll get there. We'll play again. And I think every time we've had a training, I'd be like, all right, well, I'll see you there soon. And it's funny that this is the last one for this, 2021 games, and we're both at the tryout, and I don't know, it just feels great. Like, it's something I'm definitely training hard to, accomplish. But I'm mostly excited just to play with people I've played with.
Mm-hmm.
I've played with you. I've played with Sam Apuzzo before. I played against Sam. I played against Dempsey. I've played against Kayla Trainer when I was a freshman. Obviously there's 3 Notre Dame girls on the team, but Maddie and Andy, like, I've played with them. It's going to be so fun. Kelsey Huff, I played with in high school. Kerrigan, I played with on the US team. So all these different, just from different experiences, like, this is it. Like, we're all going to mesh together. It's going to be so fun, and just exciting to be with, like, the best talent in the world, and you're part of it. So I'm excited. It's something that I'm definitely looking forward to doing.
Definitely. I mean, I can't wait to, get that first bomb from down the field and just try and outrun like Meg Dowdy or something and catch it and score for you. I'll do my best, I promise. But I'm gonna reciprocate absolutely everything you just said, and I can't wait to suit up with you again for a couple days down in Sparks, Maryland, in what, 5 weeks? A little less than 6 weeks. Let's go. It's been a weird 2020, but I am ready to get back out on the field. I know you are too. So before we turn this to a couple questions that are actually really awesome questions from our KO17 lacrosse family, Um, Tell us a little bit more just about who you are off the field. We know a lot about who you are on the field and who you strive to be, but I know family is huge for you. You mentioned some of your goals with nutrition and things like that. What have you turned that into with some hobbies and things? What's important to you off the field?
Um, Obviously my family is huge. If you don't know that by now, then I know you do, but anyone out there, I'm obsessed with my family, my sisters specifically. I think Alexander is probably the most compassionate, kind-hearted person I've ever met. She, bless her soul, she will save anything and everything. And I love that about her because I'm not like that all the time. And Gianna is just smarter than me and so funny. I don't have TikTok, but they both do. So I refuse to cave and get it. But I genuinely enjoy doing it with them. It brings them joy. So I'm like, let's go for it. And my parents, like, my dad is, you wouldn't even know that, like, I tell him everything and people might think that's weird, but like, it's just the relationship we built. And, he lives in a house of 4 women. Kind of hard. He has to, relate and be with us in a way. And, your dad feels the same way. He's in a house full of 3 women. And my mom is just, our relationship has just blossomed into something like amazing. Like every day I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go home to see my mom. And I don't know if I would have said that in high school. Sorry, mom, if you're listening, but teen angst and everything, how it all went. But I love them and I can't wait to see them soon. I get to see Alexander this weekend. I was supposed to be surprised, but I had to ask because, Halloween weekend plans. But I love them. Nutritionally wise, I did start a food blog. It's like a legit blog. Like I like to write, like type, just during quarantine and, over a year of not doing school, I was like, I need to like work my brain in like a educational sense. And I like pushed it off for a really long time. And then Gian and Alexander were like, just do it. Like, what are you waiting for? And my friends were like, why are you just do it? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And then I waited and then I was like, you know what? I don't know what it's going to be like the rest of the year because of this COVID 2020. I might as well, have something to look forward to and plan every day and something actually certain in your life. So every week I go to the food store and I plan for the next week. And it's always something with a good anecdote of food or experience or just like weird thoughts that are going on that this came to my mind and let's do this. And it just keeps me accountable of like what I'm eating, how I'm budgeting my money with food, not eating out all the time. Like I don't think I've eaten out in a really long time, which is huge, especially for being a 23-year-old living by herself with no parents cooking her food. So I enjoy doing that a lot.
That's impressive. Not gonna lie, that's impressive. Very, very impressive. As a 24-year-old who lives by herself as well. Very impressive. I love it, and I can't wait to check out the blog. Maybe you'll have to teach me how to cook because can't do that either. So
Karen,
working on it.
Karen, she likes to bake, so you can.
Yes, I know. You'd think that like Taryn would have taught me a couple things by now, but Taryn, if you're listening, I know I'm not that susceptible to learning, so I'll be better. I promise. That's my 2021 goal. Okay, so let's go into some questions from KO17 Lacrosse. We usually have some really awesome ones here, and we actually have, I believe she's here. Sarah is. You guys just heard that text tone. That would be Taryn texting me saying, "I'm listening." Hi, Taryn. So one of our questions here, do you have a most memorable save or play that you've had in your lacrosse career?
Well, the one that always comes to my mind that's most recent is my save against Jamie Ortega in our game my senior year. Just because Notre Dame's never beat UNC, and my senior year we beat them at Notre Dame in the snow. It was just awesome. It's just an awesome feeling. And that was like, when I made that save, it was like, oh, we're going to win this game. Like, there's just no doubt about it. And I just like full on belief. Another save that really, I guess, from my freshman year, we played UNC in the quarterfinals, and it was close. And then, Sammy Joe broke Barbara Sullivan's nose, and we lost Barbara for a little while because she had to get stitches. But I just remember like diving across the crease to make a save that I definitely should not have gotten there to, or anything like that. And I was like, wow, like, even if we lose this game, like, at least I'm really putting 110% into this. Like, it's not me just being like, okay, like, it was close, like, we ended up losing. But I think, ending my freshman year with that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be good, like, next year without these 5 seniors in front of me. Like, I'm gonna be fine. Like, so just, I think, again, solidified like my career, being like, okay, I'm going to be able to do this at this level, rather than lean on 5 amazing seniors in front of me, just literally crushing it. I never saw the ball half the time. So yeah.
I mean, for those of you listening, diving across the crease saves are like just normal for Sam. So, and picking off attackers' passes, yeah, those are normal too. It's fine. Just hold those in your back pocket in December, please, and thanks when I'm at X. Just saying. But so we have 2 more questions here. They're both from Sarah Stillpass, and she wants to know, how has coaching at Furman reshaped your perspective going into U.S. national team tryouts? Like, are there any new ideas that have come from being on the other side of the turf, which we kind of touched on, but anything specifically?
I think playing with my team specifically has been a great experience for me, because Furman is up and coming. We are like, we're not the UNC, Maryland, Notre Dame, Stony Brook caliber yet. Again, growth mindset, yet we're going to get there. But I think playing with them, I can relate to them more. And I think I learn things from them, and their styles are unique. Their play. And I may not have ever seen some of the things they do when I played in college. So again, I think it just broadens my, portfolio of play of who I played against. Just definitely different team in general than what I played in. So just going into US tryouts, I think that's super helpful, because some of those players I never faced or played with. Like, I never played with an Alice Mercer or a Meg Dowdy or a Kristen Carr. I've never played with them. So I have to learn to play with someone else now. So again, I think that's super helpful being at Furman and, not always playing with them. So it is kind of unfamiliar, which I'm going into in tryouts.
Very cool way to look at it, for sure. And that other question from Sarah is, how can I grow up to be like you one day?
Well, Sarah is my common roommate. So
I love it, Sarah. So how can she grow up to be like you one day, Sam?
Grow up to be like me if she says that Long Island is as good as Cincinnati, because she's from Cincinnati and she talks about it nonstop. Love her. I bought her a Cincinnati ABC poster for her birthday one year because she told me everything about it. But if she says that Long Island is as good as Cincinnati, then she can grow up to be as good as me.
I appreciate that answer as a fellow Long Islander myself. Amazing. All right, so we're gonna finish with what I like to call quick finishes. And they're just really quick, rapid fire little questions, just kind of getting to know you a little bit more, and on a fun note. But you ready? All right. Favorite place you've traveled to?
Portugal.
Oh, wow, that's a cool place. You threw me for a loop there. One thing on your bucket list.
My 5 friends and I want to go to Thailand when the last one graduates, so that's on the bucket list.
Ooh, when does the last one graduate?
Oh, well, now she gets another year of eligibility. I don't know how it's gonna work.
COVID.
Plus he's a junior, so it could be next year. It could be in 2 years. You never know.
You just never know. We'll get to Thailand though. Pizza or tacos?
I'm a pizza girl. I am. I love tacos. You know that, but
I do.
Pizza. Italian family. I can't wait. That's the first. I said it yesterday. I said it's the first thing I want to eat when I get home.
Okay, well, I'll add on to that. It wasn't on here, but would you rather have first thing when you get back to Long Island, pizza or bagel?
I'm gonna say pizza.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I think I would say the same thing. I think I would. Okay, favorite quote.
I mean, my go-to quote is "Be fearless." I have it on my wrist. So my mom says to me before every game. I carry it with me all the time. Got it on my 18th birthday and went to Kylie's game on my 18th birthday versus Notre Dame, and Stony Brook beat them. But very great day. I got what my mom says to me. It's my inspiration every day. Just be fearless in everything I do. Whether it's just, getting up in the morning. I haven't gotten up at 5 a.m. 3 days a week in my entire life until this year. And, I'm doing it. And I'm like, all right, my dad's done it for how many years? I can do it. But, I love my mom for always saying that to me and carry it with me every day. So
I love it. I love that you got that on that day. I didn't know that. That's a fun fact. Good day for both of us.
mm-hmm.
One artist or band that you'd want to see in concert?
This one's hard. Kylie and I went to a concert together. I should have brought it was really fun. Mac Miller. Mac Miller was good though.
R.I.P.
I think Maroon 5. I thought about this a lot.
Good answer. Good answer.
All those songs, so I'd be able to sing along.
Well, that I think makes half the experience of a concert, right? If you know what's going on and you get to sing along.
Like the new songs I would vibe to, but the old songs I would sing. I would know.
Sing.
Sing.
Okay. Go to cheat meal or like your favorite food to indulge in.
I love French fries. Like I really do. Like I could have like any sort of like sweet potato fries, obviously. But that would be my go-to late night meal, French fries.
Love it. Good answer. All right. Last but not least, who's your favorite Ole Miller?
That's tough. I feel like I have to say Colette because she took such good care of me. Like I feel like always at every tournament, like God forbid my mom was like running around with my sisters, like she'd have a water for me. I always could count on her for Swedish fish. Like she really just was awesome. And then that's really hard. It's really hard. But I'm gonna go right now.
You know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty because I definitely didn't share my Swedish fish or my water. So that's fair. We'll go with Colette all the way. And we can leave Steve and Chuck to hang out on the same side of the booth. I can't wait to see it again. It better happen again soon. But I think, that's it for tonight. And I am so grateful that you were able to hop on and hang out with me for the last hour and to give little bits of wisdom to our listeners. So many people are going to take so much from this and just from you and your journey and all the things that you've learned. So I'm really grateful for that. I know that I even wrote down the book that you said that you read over the summer. So taking little tidbits, learning from each other each and every day. And like I said, keep the interceptions from the crease in your back pocket. Just like don't pull them out in December. All right. Unless you're on the other side of the field and you're on my team. That's cool. But I'm so excited to see you when you get home and when we get to play together and fulfill our dreams of not playing against each other on the basketball court anymore. But so excited, and thank you so much for being here, Sam. You are the best.
No, thank you. This is awesome. What you're doing, and I love you and miss you so much.
Oh, I love you. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, and everybody stay safe. See you again next time. Bye, Mom and Dad, and Steve and Teresa, and Alexandra and Gianna and Taryn.